50 sales rep says the logic makes no sense because why would China release it on its own citizens? Orientalism, my friend. Orientalist.
Oh my God.
There you go, Adam.
That's the most
Race.
He's saying that's a racist term. You can't say that, Hasan. What the fuck is
I
he
think
doing?
you're allowed to say Orientalism.
Orientalism? What does that mean?
It's like anti-racist against. I mean, it's like racism against Asians or something.
Oh, it is?
I think so.
Xenophobic attitudes in America create this notion that like Chinese people are fucking demons that don't care about murdering their own citizens, and they will say that over and over again. Straight up, at the heart of every...
Well, they don't care about oppressing their own citizens, that's for sure. They don't care about
that means you're a
murdering
racist, Adam, that you said that.
They don't care about murdering some of their own citizens.
That's true.
I mean,
That's true. Enslaving many others, yeah.
Hasan, is America murdering their own citizens? Are police officers indiscriminately killing black?
America is just as bad as China, okay? We put more people in jail than anyone else, so that's the same as committing the Holocaust 2.0. It's the same thing.
It is so weird. Why the fuck are you simping for China when you hate your own country? I just don't get this. I don't get the intuitions behind this thing. Like, I'm going to go on the internet and simp for China.
Well, I don't know. See, I don't think, well, I don't know what the socialist is. The socialist adds a whole nother level because you can say, well, maybe they are actually simping for China because they're socialist. But I think with a lot of these people, it's not so much that they're simping for China. It's just that they're anti-American because, you know, the right has done a good job grabbing pro-Americanism as like their issue. Yeah. Like you saw there was some crazy article, I think it was in the New York Times, that was like
the flag. American
flags are a symbol of like racism and Trump's America, even though he's not president anymore. And you're like, oh fucking hell, can't we move on from this? Okay.
Yeah. It's so weird. We're endangered species.
I know.
Hey, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick.
Every single person that says shit like that, investigate that sentiment a little bit further and you will recognize that they just don't care. Like they'll say like Chinese people just don't care about Chinese people. There's too many of them. And they will blindly murder their own citizens.
Wait a minute.
We're trying to release it on its own citizens. Orientalism, my friend. Orientalist, xenophobic attitudes in America create this notion that like Chinese people are fucking demons that don't care about murdering their own citizens. And they will say that over and over again. Straight up, at the heart of every single person that says shit like that, investigate that sentiment a little bit further and you...
Is he saying at the heart of everyone that believes there's a lab leak, they also believe that all Chinese people are evil? Or is he saying people that believe Chinese people are evil demons believe Chinese people are evil demons? Because that's... that seems redundant. I'm not sure what Hasan is trying to say here. We have to really think and listen deep to get into the mind of the brochurist.
You will recognize that they just don't care. Like they'll say like Chinese people just don't care about Chinese people. There's too many of them. And they will blindly murder their own citizens just to get one off on Americans or some shit. See? Doesn't China kill more of its citizens every year than any other country? Says the motherfucker in America without healthcare, dude.
Oh no! Oh no! Hasan! Hasan, why? No! Oh, Adam picked the worst time to leave. Can you imagine the brain rot, okay? The low IQ stupidity. How fucked do you have to be to compare the government killing people, whether through executions, whether through holocausting them? How fucking dumb do you have to be to compare that to not having a public option for healthcare?
Oh my God.
Like, that's the worst. Are you serious? That's the biggest fucking stretch of all time.
My God. Yeah, that's totally.
Because first of all, most people in the country do have healthcare. Okay, already.
Yes.
Okay. Now, obviously, I'm in favor of public option, but most people do have healthcare. The hospitals can't just let you die. Okay, they're not gonna just throw you out if you're dying because you can't pay for it. But how can you fucking compare people not having a public option to the government selectively grabbing you and intentionally murdering you. How the fuck do you compare that?
You gotta have a socialist brain, bro. That's
Listen, let me look. I'll go back so you can hear it. This is insane.
Murder their own citizens. Sentiment a little bit further, and you will recognize that they just don't care. Like they'll say, like Chinese people just don't care about Chinese people. There's too many of them, and they will blindly murder their own citizens just to get one off on Americans or some shit. See, doesn't China kill more of its citizens every year than any other country? Says the motherfucker in America without health care, dude. Can you imagine being an American citizen that jails a larger percentage of its population?
Oh no. Oh no.
yeah. I wonder. The jail thing bugs me. That obviously bugs me.
They always bring that up. First of all, how you're comparing jailing, incarceration
yes.
rates to murder? Like, well, these are very different things. Okay, I don't know.
Not only that, China. Where's the China on there? Because you know China.
It's not on there.
Yeah, because they're not fucking ponying up how many people they've.
Right.
Like China. See where United States is? Imagine that line like 3 times as long, and China right above it. Because that's basically the situation. They have way more population.
Well, this is per capita, so.
Oh, okay. But it's I'm certain.
Yes, they might have
it's
a higher
worse.
gross number. But
Well, I
well,
don't
here's
know.
the thing.
Maybe that social credit score works. Maybe they don't
There
have
you
to
go.
incarcerate people.
Well, actually, it's weird that the chart that he put up doesn't list it because supposedly, even by their quote unquote official numbers, it's like 164 per 100,000, which would put them
Near the bottom.
like no, they would be like right above. They'd be under Hungary in that chart, which is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the top. But that's bullshit because they say, wait a minute, what about the thousands and millions of people in being Holocausted in Uyghur detention camps? Does that not count as incarceration? Like, does that not
Ouch.
count? Shouldn't that be added to the chart here?
You'd think.
I don't know. I think that should count. It seems like a pretty shitty argument to me.
Than any other country on the planet that literally doesn't have fucking healthcare, that doesn't have free education at higher institutions. That
Oh my god! Can you
Does
imagine?
China
like,
have free education? I don't know if China
I
even
don't
has
know.
public
It's
schools.
a good question. But can you imagine like going back in time to the 1940s? You have Hasan over here, who's like the German sympathist. Okay, he's like the pro-fascist dictatorship guy. He's like, look, I'm not saying what the Nazis are doing to the Jews is bad. I mean, is wrong, is good. I'm not saying what the Nazis are doing to the Jews is good. All I'm saying is, how can we as Americans complain that they're Holocausting Jews when we put all these people in jail? We don't give people free healthcare, free education. It's the same thing as committing the Holocaust, guys.
Yeah, not solid logic there. I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't even go in that direction, to be honest with you. China does have public education for 9 years, a minimum of 9 years. What do we have? We have
That's it. We have
K
up
through
to high school.
12. Yeah, we have
So we have better.
So we have 13 years, but I can't imagine, like, we're in a democracy where we're arguing over what we're teaching our kids right now, especially with this critical race theory stuff. So what do you think the education, the compulsory 9-year education in China looks like?
That's hilarious. Oh my God.
I don't think the Chinese people get much democratic say in what kind of education they get.
So America has better public education, at least in terms of length, than China apparently.
Yeah, 3 more years.
Right. And
Or
in
4 more
America,
years.
there's like a fuck ton of public grants you can get to go to college if you get good grades.
Sure,
It's not like,
totally. Yeah, if you got
not like
great
you're totally
grades,
out
you're
in the
going on a
fucking,
scholarship.
woods here. So
Yeah, all those China elites send their kids to our institutions
that's right.
and pay for them.
Does China have like free college? Is
No.
that a thing? I
No.
doubt it.
No, they don't.
Okay.
No, I just looked that up. Come on, the 9 years of education is enough to get them in that factory so they can be making the schlock that they're going to send over to us for Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Chinese students have been the largest foreign group in the United States since 2010.
Really?
There you go. Look, Hasan, the Chinese education system's so good. That's why they've been the largest group of foreign students in the United States. No, it doesn't even say largest group of students. It says the largest foreign group. So the largest foreign group, okay, of anyone, supposedly, according to this Wikipedia article, is Chinese students. So there you go.
Crazy.
Oh my God.
Poor Hasan.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're just beating up on him.
Well, this is like he's really grasping for straws here. Why does he feel? If this is like, why does he feel compelled to have to fucking simp for China?
Because of the communist thing. Because it's communist China.
I guess.
He loves China. He wants China to work out. As soon as the China falls apart, they literally, the book that I'm constantly talking about, Why Nations Fail, talks about China and the future of China. And that book's relatively old now, but they talk about whether or not China will work out and postulate, whether or not they'll develop a creative destruction cycle. I don't think any of the things they postulate in that book have panned out, though. So, I mean, they talk about Russia because Russia never got or the Soviet Union never got creative destruction off the ground. So they ended up innovating, and the Richard Wolffs of the world will obviously say that, oh yeah, Russia had tons of innovation. What are you talking about? Or Soviet Union had tons of innovation. Yeah, they had innovation that while they had oil, they could throw resources at to develop. But as soon as that ran out, then there's no innovation.
Do you know what? So 2020, China's GDP per capita was $10,484.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you know what America's?
$10,480.
Yes.
10,480. Okay, what was ours? Per person or
per capita? Yeah.
Okay.
GDP per capita. America's is 65,000.
Oh my God.
290 cents.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah.
So okay. And see, this is why Richard Wolff always says, if you listen, he says they had the best GDP growth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not they had the best GDP, the best growth.
Because it was at 0 and it went to 10,000.
Yeah, exactly.
We can't compete with that. That's like 10,000%.
That's true. It's funny because there's a book I read a long time ago called Economic Hitman. And it's kind of about how all these companies would go to these developing countries and they basically would sell them very expensive infrastructure and power grids and all this stuff.
Yeah. On credit.
And what they would do, they would do this trick, which is that when you go from being like a dirt farmer to living in a modern world, the growth rate is going to be some astronomical percentage. And then the way they trick these governments is that they convince them that growth rate will continue. The trend is going to continue, and it's like, no. Okay, obviously, it's going to reach a point, and then it's going to level out because you're going to reach the same level of growth that everyone else is at. So,
but that growth level is part of the creative destruction cycle, right? I mean,
right, sure.
Our GDP is from producing new products, not producing the same products over and over again. Like you can't get that growth cycle on just
sure. Well, and also,
a
lot of that GDP is it's years of build up to that point.
Yeah.
So it's not like China can just snap its fingers the next year and they're going to reach that same level.